What is up, bros, bears, muscle mommies, and everything in between? As always, this is Patrick, Full Primal Power, your mom's favorite power lifter. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these training vlogs to give you guys a little bit of an update as to what we are doing. So, we are prepping for the 2025, I think it's PLU Power Surge in Chicago, Illinois. So, this is the loudest state in the nation, Illinois. And, a lot of things have gone on, but today is a deadlift day, so let's break things down. I am indeed coaching myself now. I split ways with my previous coach after my last meet, and I was prepping for the animal cage, and it came to light just how terrible my experiences were basically leading me towards. So today's a deadlift day. Last week, I deadlifted at the gym that I do cardio at, and that's not a powerlifting gym. That's just one of those generic box gyms. And it had power bars. It had 45-pound plates. So I was like, might as well do my deadlift day. The bar I used was bent. The bar I used was extra thick. It was not a good time for me. I did a top set of 3 at 585. I felt a tweak in my lower back, and I was like, nope, not playing around with this. I could feel the bar twisting in my hands because it was bent. And if you've ever deadlifted with a bent bar, you know what's up. So we are in a hyperplasia phase of training right now, where we're trying to work on making the muscles that we have developed a little stronger. And since I am coaching myself now, I can give you guys a little bit more of an insight as to what the plan is. So we are, I've mentioned this like 20 times already that we're deadlifting. Last block, we went for a bunch of our rep PRs. We moved our 7 rep PR to 550. I could have kept going. I had already set my 4 rep PR, or 5 rep PR. I think it was like, no, my 4 rep PR, no, 5 rep PR was, I don't know. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, whatever BS I spout about numbers, I don't have the best memory. So I have my Instagram out there so that I can have a memory. I do know, however, that I tied my 3 rep PR at 6, or I PR'd it 672 or 677. I think that may have been like a 5-pound PR or tied a PR. I don't know, but we were pushing our rep PRs. Now, you can't always do that because you can only fly towards the sun for so long until your wings melt off your back. So right now, the plan with bench is to push my 5 rep PR until we find a spot where we can stick around for a couple weeks. We're not doing progressive overload. We're almost doing instinctual training. I've been powerlifting for 10 years. I know what works best for me. I know what moves my bench. I know what moves my squat. And I know what moves my deadlift. For a while, I didn't know what moved my deadlift until I trained with my previous coach. Now I know what moves my deadlift. Yeah. So I don't really know. I probably should know what I'm going to train today, but I'm thinking last week I was going to push the 3 reps. Not 3 rep PR, but triples and get some good volume. There's 3 ways to get stronger. There's adding a rep, adding a set, and reducing rest time. We're not being super stringent with rest time. We are trying to be a little bit better with rest time going forwards, but there's no clock in the gym, so I can't really track that. So I track my rest time based on, I'm gonna go when the song that I'm listening to is done. So that's somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes per set, which not super good. You want it between 90 and 2 minutes, especially in an off season. But once you get closer and closer to peaking, that's when you kind of throw your rest time, your timed rest periods out the window, and you just go when you're ready. You don't want to go any slower than 15 minutes per set. If you really want to tack in, do it between 8 and 15 minutes per set when you're peaking, because that's about where you're going to have when you're on the platform, because they got to go through all the other lifters in your flight. Plan for today. I'm split between doing sets of 5 and sets of 3. I kind of wanted to do some deficit deadlifts, but also I'd rather pleasure myself with sandpaper. I got to censor myself a little bit because I can get a little spicy. If we do sets of 5, I might just do... Okay. This is how I think about my programming for myself. If I do sets of 5, I'll start at 500, or 4 reds because we're using kilo plates. And that's about 500. And we'll go up and we'll try to end at 600, which I think that might be close to a PR, but try to do that so do 500, 525, 550, 575, 600, drop down, do some deficits. So I did 4 working sets, ascending quintuples. Really, I found that works well for my deadlift is ascending sets. So do that and then drop down, do some probably somewhere between 500 and 550 for sets of 3 to 5, and I'll kind of know based on where I'm at fatigue wise, intra-training fatigue wise. Do 3 sets of 3 to 5. That's somewhere between 500 and 550, probably 500, and we can progress it in the proceeding weeks. And then we've got pendlay rows. When I train and when I program back accessory movements, I like to have it in the same plane of motion. And there's no better plane of motion than the exact same start position as a regular deadlift. So pendlay rows, those will be good. And then do some dumbbell RDLs where we try and touch the floor with the dumbbells. That will work on the range of motion, elasticity of your glutes and hamstrings. We'll probably finish off with some lying leg curls. I've been doing seated leg curls for a while, and then I did lying leg curls last week, and it really popped the hamstrings and made me feel super strong, super feisty. So probably do that. I think I'm squatting tomorrow, so won't go too ham on the abs, but we will be doing some abs. We did Mason twists yesterday, so I might do side raise. That's 2 days of obliques in a row. You don't want to do that. Probably some backwards hyperextension crunches, weighted. Probably, I usually do a 1x50 with a 45-pound plate. A lot of the methodologies that encapsulate training your core really focuses on getting them trimmed and toned, but I'm a power lifter and I don't care about that, so I'm going to make them as big and strong as possible. So load up on weighted ab movements, make them big and strong, and really worry about anything else later. The only downside to that is they get bigger, and if you are not absolutely cut, you just feel chonky and fat. It might just be because I'm chonky and fat. So probably do some weighted abs. Might not do a 45-pound plate. I might grab a dumbbell, and maybe a 60-pound dumbbell, and start working that up. My gym, Oasis, in Hyde Park in South Boston, has dumbbells all the way up to 170. So probably be able to progress that. Goal would be to do sets of 50 with the 170, because I'm a real man. And then that's that. We are at about 3,200 steps today. The goal always, I'm not with my nutritionist anymore. I split ways with her as well. So I'm doing my own nutrition. So the plan for body weight going into the meet is I had a plan. I've got my buddies, the 2300 boys. So if you've seen the 2300 podcast, those are all the regulars on there, which is Shane, Fernando, Craig, and Zottel. I basically have them double check whatever I'm doing to make sure that I'm doing things right and I'm not hamstringing myself. The group chat we have in there is like super, like Fernando will put his stuff, me like, what is, like, how did this look? Shane will share his, like, we all share our training stuff. We all critique each other. We all hold each other accountable. And then we also shit talk any lifter that is producing better results than us. Shout out to Mitch Hooper. But anyways, that's the training day for today. Looking to get about 8,000 steps. So I'm less than halfway there, but I pace when I'm in the gym. I have a no sitting rule when I'm in the gym, so I don't allow myself to sit whenever I'm in the gym, because sitting allows you to be lazy, and being lazy is not good. So I will see you guys in the gym. Hoo-wee! Tug my nuts and call me a lawnmower, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. We had ourselves a deadlift day today. So how did the plan go? We planned to start off at around 500. So we did 4 reds plus collars, which is about 496, which is approximately 5 plates if you're using imperial plates, 45-pound plates. But we're using kilo plates, so 25 kilos, 55 pounds per plate. Yada, 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 whatever. So we started at 496 instead of 5. This was my worst set. It felt awful. Honestly, every set felt better than the previous set. So my warm-up sets, one red, 2 red, 3 reds, those felt awful. Those were atrocious. And then we got to 4 reds, felt pretty bad. We added a 5 kilo and a 2.5 kilo. So basically, in my head, I've lifted with pound plates for so long that I have to equate the kilo plates to pound plates. So the 5 kilo plate, which is about 11 pounds, because 5 times 2.205. Little note, if you want to convert kilos to pounds, double it and add 10%. And that gives you a 2.2 multiplier. So 5 times 2 is 10, add 10%, and that's 11 pounds. And that doesn't take into the 0.05 portion of 2.205, but it gets you close enough if you're doing mental math. And honestly, everyone should do more mental math. It keeps the brain spry, it keeps you smart, it keeps you engaged in critical thinking, keeps you smart. And yes, I am in Boston traffic. So 496, and then we added a 5 and a 2 kilos, which is basically a 10 and a 5, because I wanted something around 525. And then my brain turned on and was like, you're trying to make even jumps, you're doing it wrong, because if you want to do even jumps, then you got to do 30, like 500, 533, 566, and then 600. But my brain was turned on, and I was like, I'm not listening to you. I'm just going to proceed with whatever the plan was. So instead of 5, it was better than the 496. I have no idea what was on the bar. I think it was like 525, 527, something like that. Not completely sure. All I know is it got the stimulus. It was in the ballpark range of where I wanted to be during this. And then I jumped up to 4 reds and a yellow on each side. So yellow is 33 pounds. So I think That's 500 plus 60, or 496 plus 66. It's around 550. Nah, that math, I'm trying to do too much mental math right now. Being a hypocrite, saying that mental math is going to keep you awake. It's first thing in the morning, and I just finished my morning coffee. It's the day after. Yeah. 4 reds and a yellow. That felt really good, and it was a bigger jump than the previous jump. And I was like, all right, things are feeling good. And then we jumped up to 5 reds, which is about 606 with the collars. I know that I know what the everything above 4 reds pretty much is for the most part. I just don't know what the smaller jumps equate to, and I didn't have a chart with me, and I wasn't going to do the math, but I know 5 reds plus collars is about 606. So we had that on the bar, and honestly, the 606 was my best rep. Not rep, but set, which felt really good. So a couple weeks ago, if you've been following me on Instagram, I hit a new 4 rep PR of 606. So we finished a training block, deloaded, and then we're basically, I think the plan is to repeat the training block. And so we basically are moving our rep PRs up by 1 rep, because there's only 3 ways to get stronger. There's add a rep, add weight, add sets, and add rest time. That's 4 for those of you counting at home. Call me the Count, because we are learning numbers today. It's very early in the morning. I got less than 7 hours of sleep. Bear with me. Anyways. Oh, look at that. By the way, look at my skincare routine. Ignore my nose. I started a new skincare routine. So I got a morning cleanse. I've got a toner pad that I get to do right out of the shower. And then I use some bubble moisturizer. And then I finish off with some Supergoop sunscreen. Because if you're not using sunscreen every day, you might as well not do skincare. Whatever. So 606, moving forward. So basically, I kind of want to move my 4 rep PR to whatever my 3 rep PR was. That would be 675. Right? I think. My brain's not braining. I'll have to double check through my Instagram. I have my Instagram just so that I can keep a tab on my things. But now that I'm coaching myself, I think I have a training log that I got from Elite FTS for being on the Table Talk podcast. And I think I'm going to end up, I think I have to start utilizing that as an actual training log. I was using it as like a planner, but like it kind of feels gross using it because it's such a high quality, it's leather bound, and the book in it is actually labeled a training log. So I think I'm actually going to have to go through that and keep track of my numbers a little bit better. Back to the days of when I first started lifting, I used to keep a training log. My brother was in the Army, and they got these like hardcover notebooks that are like pocket size, not pocket size, but like slightly larger. So like cargo pants pocket sized. And he gave me one of those, and I filled one of those out, and I was like, I need another. And by the time that I finished filling it out, he had already left the Army and joined the corporate world. So I had to go to Walmart and get myself a same size hardcover. Just didn't feel the same quality. But I think I've got access to those books again. Not from the Army though. Anyways, I think I'm gonna start logging my training more than just digitally on Instagram. But anyway, so we did deficit deadlifts. We jumped down to 496. We did sets of 3, and my hands were on absolute fire. So I did a 2x3. I wanted to do a 3x3, but one of the homies was like, how many sets do you have left? And I was like, I can justify only doing 2 sets because the previous sets were doing so good. If I had done 3 sets, that would have been 7 working sets, and that's like at the upper echelons of the amount of sets that you have to do. There've been studies since I think it came out in 2017 on sets and rep optimizations. It's like if you want to increase hypertrophy, you want 10 to 20 sets of a muscle group per week. If you're looking for strength, it's 4 to 8 sets split into 2 separate days. So yeah, we're good doing 6 total working sets, getting the stimulus out there. That being said, usually when I do my back work, I use the same. I basically strip the bar, do an accessory movement, with each like kind of plate. So like usually like deficit deadlifts, and then I'll do something like a hobbit pole, a Dimmel deadlift superset. Which, if you guys don't know what those are, go back into my I think it was a starting position video that I put together on how to correct a lot of your deficiencies in your starting position on deadlifts. I don't know the actual name of the video, and I'm not gonna link it because I'm a lazy asshole. Anyways, so we had to change the back movement that we were doing. So we did a single arm cable low row. Terrible camera angle, I know. But the gym is a little tight in the accessory area. I could have done dumbbell rows. Didn't feel like it. I felt like doing something with cables. And we got a pretty good, weird angles. Oh, spring's coming. A lot like your mom. So it was a weird angle. And if you can get a weird angle and you get a good stimulus and you get a pump from it, chances are you're going to get a little stronger in somewhere that you've been lacking. So that got me a good stimulus. And then we did, for some reason, one of my favorite accessories right now is stiff-legged dumbbell RDLs, where I try to touch the floor. Really great for stretching out the hamstrings and glutes. But as I increase the intensity of training, my body is getting a little bit more stiff. So, it makes those harder, which is better, which means that the stimulus from that is going to be better. So doing the stiff leg dumbbell RDLs is really it's almost like a weighted stretch. And all those studies back in the day where they were like, oh, you don't want to stretch before you train, you want to stretch after you train, you want to stretch while you train. That's the secret sauce to everything. You want to get strong in every range of motion and treat your accessories like stretching with a load. So really working on getting my ability to touch my toes with stiff legs. I can touch my feet. That's not what I'm saying. It's get the dumbbell RDLs where I can place my hands flat on the floor. But yeah, like it takes a couple reps for me to be able to tap the floor with the dumbbells, and that's the exact stimulus that I'm looking for in my dumbbell RDLs. And we also did lying leg curls. I've been doing seated leg curls, but I feel like I don't get a good range of motion with seated leg curls as I do with lying leg curls. So I'm opting to use lying leg curls a little bit better. First set was a little rough, and then every proceeding set was a little bit better and a little bit better. So I'm going to be able to progress that nicely and build some nice, thick, juicy legs. I like doing hamstrings on deadlift days and quads on squat days because you use more hamstrings when it comes to deadlifts. You use more quads when it comes to squats. So you can train your legs every single day. I just like to split it up like that so that I'm training the same muscles on the day that they're getting pre-fatigued by the compound movement of the day. And then we did, I think that was we did the backwards hyperextension sit-ups, or crunches. Crunches is a better word. It's not a sit-up. Sit-ups are, I had a traumatic experience as a child doing sit-ups. I used to play ice hockey, and we went to a hockey camp, and they made us do sit-ups on basketball court in fall when they had like all the foliage. They had like pine cones and sticks were falling and stuff, and I had like 12 splinters in my lower back from that. So it's a traumatic experience for me to do sit-ups. I grabbed a 60-pound dumbbell to do the crunches, and I started and I felt a little burning in my lower left abdomen, and I was like, wait, no, that's just because my belt's been pinching me, because I pointed that out while I was doing deadlifts, that my belt was pinchy, and that didn't feel super good. So it was just the skin, no muscular burnage. But I finished off the day with about 8,100 steps, because once I finished, I walked on the treadmill for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that was the training day. So honestly, in summation, pretty good training day. I was really happy with how everything felt. We hit a new 5-rep PR. It'll be super cool if I can get that to a 6-rep PR next training block. Training for the power surge, so I need to do a little bit of mathematicals in order to really distinguish when we need to start pulling back on the volume and start increasing intensity and building up for a peak, which we should start doing that 12 weeks out, so about 3 months out. So September, August, July. So sometime next month will probably, so we might have time for one more block or a little less. Whew, we're getting out there. I'm sitting around at 345.2 pounds this morning. I started my bulk 2 months ago, and the goal is to gain 5 pounds per month. So it is May 8th, I think, today. I probably shouldn't say what day it is, because then you guys will be like, why did it take you so long to make this video, boy? And you guys have no idea how many of these videos I have stocked up in my backlog, where it's like 90% edited but not ready to get published. And honestly, my new job, super chill, but the office, they tried to imitate Google, so there's no cubicles. Everyone's like elbow to elbow, and you can't really do anything, and it's really hands-on. And yeah, I don't really have time to edit these, because my morning commute is somewhere between an hour and 45 minutes and 3 hours, depending on Boston traffic. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Share it with a homie. Share it with your mother. She probably misses me. And this has been Patrick Full Primal Power. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Did I already say that? I don't know. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.